Okay, we're recording. We've been talking about Thanksgiving offline and traveling and back and forth. And so good to see everyone. Shoot.
Good to see you too.
Nice to see you, everyone.
You see, I'm colorblind, but this looks like the seasonal wear, or at least close to, right?
It really does. Impressive. Red, green, and white. Everyone's got a theme going.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It's like in New Mexico, you'd be ordering either green chili or red chili, green or red, green or red or green, or Christmas tree, which is both. That's what you do.
Good to know.
Well, at least, that's what my memory tells me we do. So we have some great haikus and things to be thinking about this time of year. So let me just pull up and share my screen real fast. And so can you see that haiku?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, November 2021. Check it out. This is recording our 19th of our monthly haiku reading and recording. And like we were just talking about a second ago, we've been doing this for a couple of years, at least.
Nice.
Well, I have Amy's first. You want to do that first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So my haiku this month was entitled, I don't always title them, but this month it's entitled Labyrinth. And the haiku is winding to the center, inviting peace to travel outward, in, and through. And then on the back, I had a little finger labyrinth.
Love it.
I do too. Okay. You want to go first or second, Davin? Doesn't matter to me.
I can go first for sure.
Okay.
And of course, your haiku, Michael, fits really well with Amy's. There's just great, again, resonance between at least the way I saw what the two of you wrote. So what are the things making for peace and calm and inner silence? I have always found these things in music, in poetry, in worship, in nature, and in conversation. Amy's haiku offers a path to peacefulness that has eluded me, however. Labyrinths are mazes designed to invite peace as one wanders and wonders. As I approach a labyrinth, however, a sense of angst arises within me as I anticipate going the wrong way, getting lost, doing it incorrectly. Labyrinths, for whatever reason, bring out the perfectionist, not the peace. It's a problem with my perspective and approach, I know. So the centeredness and focus provided by the labyrinthian walk, it's a skill that I can develop. Another aspect of this haiku and my experiences of labyrinths is what might be called the way of peace. Peace, I suspect, is not an end product of the labyrinth. If I am any example, a certain kind of peacefulness or receptivity toward peace is required to even enter with any hope of enjoying the travel outward, in, and through. Peace, calm, and inner silence require the right mindset and preparation. Entering any experience, expecting to find peace without the right kind of work and mindset ahead of time is likely to be fruitless. As Amy says, the labyrinth invites peace to travel. It doesn't invite peace to be found. Peace isn't in the labyrinth. Rather, it permits the already existing peacefulness to be focused and brought forth in the process. So nice haiku, Amy.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Perfectionism is a curse.
What's a curse?
Perfectionism.
It is a curse. It's also elusive. My friend Stanley used to say, perfection is elusive. I couldn't agree with him more. So first, I love labyrinths. And in fact, I may have met you, Amy, when we first met. It was at a workshop with Christine, and Christine is the one who did the labyrinths. And so I can't remember exactly if we walked a labyrinth that day, but I have with Christine.
Yeah.
So as often as I can, I walk a labyrinth if I come across one. Now, I have a little finger labyrinth right here, and I can't remember where I got it, but I've given this to other people because I really love these labyrinths. The labyrinth is viewed as a metaphor for life's journey. It offers enlightenment as we walk the path. So as often as I can, I walk a labyrinth if I come across one. I love the story in Greek mythology of the labyrinth, where Theseus, the prince of Athens, finds his way to the center where he kills the dreaded half-bull, half-human, human-eating Minotaur. Theseus, notably, is able to find his way back because he carried Ariadne's thread, a line of twine she had given him, back to the entrance. There's much more, and Adrian had fallen in love with him, so she gave him twine and gave him a sword. There's much more to the myth, and its implications for life, even contemporary life, are compelling. Labyrinths are typically unicursive, which means there's only one path in and one path out. It's a special kind of maze. Amy's haiku resonated with me as it described the whole journey, which is not straight or straightforward. When I travel a labyrinth, I slowly walk the circle, weaving closer, then farther, then closer until I reach the middle. The journey, for me, is one of letting go. Letting go of anything, worries, fears, doubts, feelings, beliefs that are weighing me down and are constraining me. The center then is a place of discernment, and the walk out one of increasing certitude and commitment to action. I view each trip to the center as a pilgrimage to my own self, to my own soul. Amy invites peace to travel on this journey, and I've never done that, but I like it a lot. What if we invited peace into our everyday journeys which often seem more an insolvable maze and less a circuitous one, but a path to the center of what is really valuable. Great.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh,
All right.
I wanted to mention before I forgot, I love this little label that you have. It says haiku mail, haiku mail. It's in the mail, haiku. Okay.
I just got tired of writing my addresses all the time. So I was like, I'm just going to print labels.
Very nice.
Good. Okay. I guess I don't need to read the haiku again. Every 2 months in my spiritual director training, we are given a spiritual discipline to practice. This fall was solitude, but unlike prior months, we were told to figure out what it meant for us to practice solitude. I did what I do and read a few things and stumbled on a few podcasts even as I considered what my solitude practice might be. A small group of women from my parish began meeting each Tuesday at noon at a small labyrinth near the entrance of the largest hospital in Boise. We developed a short prayer practice for our hero healthcare workers who are working under a crisis standard of care and a huge spike of COVID cases that were overwhelming the hospitals. As I started to walk a small labyrinth each week, I wondered if maybe the labyrinth could be my solitude practice. So I found a larger labyrinth tucked back in a wooded area near the Boise River. On a blustery late fall morning, I slowly, in solitude, walked the labyrinth. I wasn't sure what to expect or if this idea even made any sense. It just felt like the thing I should do. Winding to the center, I tried to be present with no expectations. Walking a labyrinth is an embodied practice. In the center of the labyrinth, with the blustery winds, the silence, the small grove of trees rustling in the wind, there was such peace. The path to the center is not straight. It winds and switches back and forth, yet the peace in the center was a full-bodied peace. When I slowly and somewhat reluctantly turned to leave the peaceful center, the path outward, the same as I had walked, was different. The views, the pace felt different. The most profound moment of the experience came as I walked under the archway featured in the photo. I crossed the threshold and turned back to see where I had come from. As I stood in the silence and solitude, looking back, I realized there was the strong, palpable feeling of, for lack of a better word, unwinding. It felt like my heart and soul were unwinding. My heart and soul were catching up, experiencing the movement of my feet and body, outward, in, and through. The ancient geometry of the labyrinth invites us all to an embodied journey of peace.
That is so awesome.
You both give me hope.
That is so beautiful, Amy, in your story. And is there any? Did you tell me that you've reached one phase of your spiritual training, or
Yeah, I'm halfway done, halfway through.
Nice.
I know, it's going so fast.
Oh, wonderful.
Time
Yeah.
really flies. It's amazing. When you told us that you were doing it, 2 years seems to stretch out, but then pow, it's just like
I
going through a
know.
master's program or something like that. Pow.
I feel the same way.
So, okay, let's see what we have next. I think maybe it would be wise, just kind of based on the way things fit together, for maybe mine to be next.
I like it.
So I'm going to pass this one up right here. Here's my haiku. I sit warm and calm outside bare trees. No. Take two. Clap. I sit warm and calm outside bare trees, fight cold winds. Gratitude fills me. And then on the other side, I feel pretty sure I've used this picture before, but this is me sitting inside, cold trees outside, my two little puppies, and you can see the blanket on my feet.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Do you want to go, Davin?
Yeah, sure. Are you hearing me okay?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and go.
Oh, you want me to go? Sorry, I was having you go. Okay, I'll go.
Don't fight over my haiku. Don't fight who
It's so
doesn't have
good.
to talk about
It's so good. This haiku is simple and yet profound. Observation of a moment in time, sitting warm and calm inside while the bare trees fight cold winds. Each is in their place. The cold winds, new deep mulch from the leaves it recently released, moisture in the air, fungus in the ground, are all at that moment of the cold winds, nourishing and giving strength to the bare tree. It is living as it was designed to live, even in the cold bareness of winter. The tree was made to thrive in winter's bareness. The bare tree is regenerating, renourishing, reforming, realigning. Catherine May, in her book, Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times, reminds her readers of exactly what Michael achieved in just 17 syllables. It's good to live in rhythm with nature. The cold and bareness of winter is an invitation to sit warm and calm. When we sit in calmness with gratitude, we too are living as we were designed to live.
Nice. Thank you, Amy. Very nice.
Yeah, it fits really well with the image and the tone of the poem for sure.
Mhm.
All right. November begins the windy season in the Midwestern United States. The average wind speed picks up dramatically from seasonal lows in August and September. So while November may not be the windiest month, it feels that way. Remaining leaves are blown from the trees as winter's cold embrace takes complete control in time for Advent, leading into the solstice. It's a spare season and a time to begin looking inward. I always imagined the trees doing the same thing. Without the heavy sun-absorbing canopy, there's freedom to circle the wagons and focus energy internally. It's the dendrological version of introspection. The trees are outside, so the author, Michael, must be inside. Our son, Jules, was describing his love of snow and rainstorms a few days ago, something that seemed unexpected, counterintuitive, until he explained that he loves them only when he is, like Michael, feeling insulated. He likes the feeling of a raincoat, a tent, a roof that is effectively shielding him. He feels protected and impervious, safe. Juxtaposed with the leafless, wind-fighting trees, the warmth and calm seems to offer an ease unattainable by most of the natural world. I don't think gratitude is easy, though, in spite of this poem's tone, which has an easy feel. Gratitude comes from preparation. Gratitude offers protection, for sure, but not without tilling and fertilizing the soil that allows it to grow. Gratitude is a way of being, not simply an attitude.
Such a way with words. Such a way with words you
Good.
both have. A spare season. A spare season.
It is. It always feels, especially here, at least in the Midwest, in the East, it just, November hits and just the wind is cold and it blows a lot. And it just feels like things are, hunkering down.
It's a spare season. The heavy snow hasn't come yet to make things feel the silent winter you're talking about, Amy, earlier.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm not sure I've ever heard the word dendrologically. Is that what you said? Dendrologically?
Dendrological, study of trees.
Dendrological.
I always learn a new word when I'm with you two.
Me too.
Mostly Davin, I think.
But all three of us love words. So this
Yeah.
is one of the few venues where I feel comfortable actually, kind of branching out
Throwing
like
them in.
I love it.
Love it.
I love
So
it. In
good.
fact, when I'm reading something, and it's not just this right here, but when I'm reading something, I can tell that it's likely to be rich if I have a word or two to look up, or a phrase or a reference to look up that I don't know before. If I already know it all, now, yes, there can be very spare or rich language that's great, but it stretches me. So I love that, the ability to describe.
what I love is that I know that in this setting with the three of us, it may still be pretentious to use words like that, but it's fun, right?
So great.
I
I
don't
love
think
it.
it's pretentious. I don't think it's pretentious. What does pretentious mean?
I forget.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. Sometimes the world seems so cold and wintry and uncaring and just mean. There are times I feel so exposed to the elements, helpless. And then I remember that warmth is always available to me because it resides within. In my home, I watch the cold wind blow. Trees with deep roots resist being blown over. Those with shallow roots succumb. Every morning, I remind myself that while the outside may be freezing, I have many blessings to warm me inside and inside me. Family, friends, a house for shelter, food to eat, and gratitude sometimes just overwhelms me. In the midst of impermanence, all those things I love so much will one day be gone, or I will be. Their warmth will continue to keep me warm inside, even when so much outside appears to be a frozen wasteland.
Beautiful.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's really kind of a perfect encapsulation of, well, I think my thoughts as well on your poem. It's great.
So well done.
Okay, Dr. Karchelman, let's see what we have here. Let's move from puppy dogs on couches.
Hmm.
First of all, these photos are great. I mean, they're just,
Where did you take this photo?
So this is the Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, which I think is just one of the most beautiful landscapes
Yeah,
that,
it's so interesting.
that I've encountered. Yeah, it is. It's just beautiful. Wild horses there and buffalo and everything. It's really, really a neat place.
Hmm.
And I always imagined that, well, I've always imagined as a place that would be really, that I would like to live, you know, around
Mhm.
there. So when I thought about a homeland, it sort of captured that a little bit.
Yeah, I just thought it was great. And the other picture we'll get to here in a second. Okay.
Longings, immortal longings, love, our homeland eternal, deepest desires met. And I'll add just a little bit. The poem wrote itself. I didn't have to think about it at all, hardly. As I was reading a few bits from Antony and Cleopatra, and the idea of immortal longings, and it just sort of hit. And as I was thinking through it, I just kept thinking of Wendell Berry, and I thought of my grandparents.
Whoa. Someone's selling me a car warranty, no doubt. Sorry.
Anyway, so I think some
Breaks
of
the mood.
these things seem kind of disparate, but to me they fit together.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to just? I don't think you can really look at it unless you look at the whole piece here.
So yeah, so the Wendell Berry poem, "A Homecoming," and then those are my maternal grandparents, just walking down the road together.
So sweet.
I love this poem and I love that picture. So we'll get to it. Well, you want to read the poem? You want to read what Wendell Berry said? Because I'm not sure when we'll get back to it, or you want to do that later?
Yeah, well, so one faith is bondage, two are free. In the trust of old love, cultivation shows a dark, graceful wilderness at its heart. Wild in that wilderness we roam, the distances of our faith, safe beyond the bounds of what we know. O love, open, show me my country, take me home.
Wow. And that's something.
Mhm.
I really like, I love Wendell Berry's poems.
Yeah, he just writes so well. Amy, first or second?
Doesn't matter to me. Do you want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. As with most things in life, I wonder where exactly the emphasis should go. Is this haiku speaking of the longing to be immortal, to live and never die, or of a yearning that feels immortal, the intense desire unmet? Of course, the next line answers my question. Love is our eternal, our homeland eternal. Homeland is the place of our origin, where we belong. Eternal is without end. Love, never ending, is where our immortal longings point. Love, so simple and yet so profound. Love is embossed on home decor and cute teas. Amid the shallowness, have we lost the depth? This haiku, with its wordplay and word selection, invites a deeper reflection. Are we longing to be immortal? Do we understand that our deepest yearning is love, to give love, to be loved, to love? That love is immortal and makes us immortal, touching eternity with our love loved in our short mortal lives. Love, immortal longing, homeland eternal was so beautifully illustrated in the photo of Davin's maternal grandparents walking hand in hand away from the camera together. A lifetime of homeland eternal, deepest desires met. It's in the dailiness of life, lived hand in hand, where the truly profound and immortal is found.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really, really all of it, the photos, everything.
On that note, Davin's haiku cannot be interpreted fully without considering the images and the quotations he shared that go along with it. Just to back up what you were saying. First, the photos, which Davin too set the stage to talk about longings. His haiku starts with immortal longings, which I interpret from different perspectives. First, there are our desire to be close to the divine God, knowing that we're separated. Then there is the immortal God, longing for us to step closer. The picture of a horse, there may be two of them, grazing whilst surrounded by more rugged yet beautiful natural terrain might symbolize this desire and separation through the lens of nature or creation. The second poignant photo shows two older people, Davin's grandparents, walking, holding hands. While human relationships can never be perfect, this photo represents to me the eternal love that these two share. Love, Davin writes, is an eternal homeland. It's not just a feeling, not even just accumulation of loving actions, but a place that is forever home, which was there before we were born, is here in the present moment, and will be there forever. And in this eternal love, the separation is made one. The separation is made one. Our deepest desires are met. We are one with and a part of nature. We are one with and a part of the divine. We are one and we are all. Finally, Wendell Berry's profoundly beautiful poem, set beside the image of two grandparents walking hand in hand, made my eyes well up. Even now, a little bit. I had to sniff them back or my copy would have become smudged. Oh, love, open, show me my country, take me home. Together, photos and Barry and Davin's haiku created a visceral response and reminded me that love shows me the way, even if the path to center seems labyrinthian. Stay the course, go deeper, then deeper. Wow. What a combo of things in that haiku and that whole container.
Yeah, but you both captured so many elements that I didn't. I think my high bun is not up to the task here, but it shares.
Sure, it will be.
It shares some of my thinking, but I also think, I don't know, just how poetry sometimes there's just a lot more in 17 syllables than you can write about in a paragraph, you know. It's hard to follow. Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra is a tragedy. To my uncultivated way of thinking, though, there are beautiful and hopeful elements as well. As an expression of the universal human desire to escape the trappings of mortality, Cleopatra's compulsion towards suicide captures the power of love to transcend. And if not love, then what? What moves us and connects us to things larger than ourselves, if not love? Nothing. At least nothing to which we have access. While earthly and material immortality are ill-conceived goals, see Stephen King's Pet Sematary, the durability of relationships and the power of memory are certainly stronger than our material lives alone. It is hubris to possess immortal longings. Yet Cleopatra captures something universal in human experience. We are limited, and the only hope of transcendence is love. What can stand outside of time? Nothing but God and love, which is likely why the Christian tradition has held consistently that God is love. It's also why an essential aptitude in life is the capacity for suffering. To love is to suffer. Wendell Berry was on my mind as I thought through this haiku. His characterizations of love through marriage in poems like The Country of Marriage, which I didn't include here, but easily could have, and A Homecoming, the one that I did include. They're not simple saccharine celebrations, but they're rich portraits of immortal longings.
So good.
Let's keep doing this, guys. Every time, and again, it just bears, I think it bears repeating, or I wouldn't repeat it, but every time I learn something new. You know, I know Wendell Berry, and I'm not sure I've read those poems. I know, you know, this book that you just talked about, Solitude, Winter Solitude. I never heard that book before, and yet now I want it. I mean, it's like this great learning that's going on.
And
17 syllables.
And so something much more pedestrian. I knew that I had that picture of my grandparents holding hands walking down the road. I could not find it. I looked for hours and hours, and it forced me to go through and, you know, update my photos. And so anyway, the sort of chain of events that produced that photo, it was ultimately good, but there's no shortage of 4-syllable words rather than 7 haiku.
Like, yeah, 4-syllable. Yeah, well, anyway.
4-letter words.
4-letter words,
Yeah.
like fine, I'm sure, fine, hope, care. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Right.
So are your grandparents still around?
No, they're both passed on now. So
And where did they live? Where was this taken?
it was taken in central Pennsylvania. So they moved to State College, where Allie and I were, in 2003, and we all lived together here. So we had 4 generations on our little piece of property here in central Pennsylvania for about 15 years.
Wow.
That was such a touching photo. I mean, it was
It
just
really
a
was.
touching photo. I'm glad you went to I'm sorry you had to, but I'm glad you went to the effort to find it.
But it was exactly what I wanted, and I didn't give up.
And now it's immortalized.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Now
For
it
the-
is immortalized.
For the 3 of us and the 3 people who will watch the recording.
It's okay. It's okay.
Leave a legacy, leave a good one. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording. Thanks, everyone. I guess
you.
we should make sure we do this before Christmas and not wait till the last
Minute.
It's pretty amazing. We have in these 19 recordings, we've always been able to stay within the month, sometimes on the last day, the very last day of the month, but we've managed to do it. So we keep our record going, hopefully. Happy Thanksgiving. See y'all. I'll have this up soon.